You're welcome to our channel. Interestingly, today we'll be looking at 10 ways to visualize bar charts. We called this image from the work from Michael, who is one of the community member. So if you work with me today, we're going to try to replicate this such that you can have a fair share of how this works. Now, the very first thing we're going to be trying is the simple one. So let's go for it. Open sheets. In this case, we'll be looking at regions. So regions. So we haven't got region. So we're going to play with a measure. In this case, we'll be looking at profit. By taking out the axis ruler, you achieve that. You can centralize this using the alignment, bring it to the center. Yeah. And then you have the very next chart. Let's turn this into the third one. To achieve the third one, you have to create, so this is a bar. I'm going to make it back to a bold bar. Pretty much what we had earlier with a non-border. Yeah. And then I want to achieve that line at the bottom. So you're going to do what you call like layers. So in this case, the layers are the zero line. So I'm going to create 0, enter. Yeah. Measures are oftentimes aggregated. The system aggregates it to a sum 0. Drop this down and then say dual axis. Yeah, when it's dual axis, you could come here or here and say synchronize axis. You can as well do that from here and say synchronize axis. Yeah, so you check it up, it's synchronized. Yeah, so I'm going to clean it up, clean this up. Now you see the 0 line, I could give it a unique color. So I could give it a color that would be distinct. So instead of blue, I'd give it like a red color. Yeah, I could make the line bigger so that it shows up a lot better. So now make it a bit lower, smaller. Yeah. No, I want to keep it big. Reduce the size of the line because it's shooting out too hard. Now, do you see the bit? Yeah. If you watch at the stump, you can see that I could shade this off, make this a lighter yellow. Sorry, no. So I'll shade this off, reduce the opacity of this. Reduce the opacity of this. And if you do that, you can see the red. Yeah, it's a whole lot deeper. So I could, yeah, that's fine. Come here, use a color. Maybe use a color that will speak a lot. So you see, you have that dark line at the bottom. Yeah, just look for the colors that will work for you. So you understand the concept, you replicate exactly that. So that's one of the ways you can achieve that. Take the sum out of the 0 line, and then you can really see that line out of there. Now to clean that line and make it more distinct, format. Yeah. Check the line, check the rows, columns, it's clean. Yeah, that looks clean. Go to the axis, clean up the axis on the row end, clean up the axis. I'll clean all of these out, clean the column divider. Yeah, now it becomes a lot more distinct. So when you clean up from the format, you have the outcome you're looking for. Okay. So fourthly, we're going to achieve this. So here we had this at the end. Here we're going to have these at the tip. Yeah. Another way to get this to be more distinct is you could come here and just size this a bit. Yeah. So when you size that a bit, you allow the one behind to be a lot bigger. So there you go. Looks cool. Now to achieve this thing on the other tip, what you do is you're going to take this off. Yeah. So pretty much you're going to replicate this. How do you replicate? You hold down Control and then duplicate it. Yeah. Once you duplicate this on this end, you're going to turn this layer, the layer here, which is now the profit to, turn that to a Gantt bar. Yeah. Awesome. So it becomes a Gantt bar, looks pretty much the way it is. Yeah. I want this to be fully deep. Yeah. Now, once you've got that, what you're going to do is I'm going to take off this from the label. Just take this off for now. Yeah. Now, what do? Come here, dual axis. Yeah, there you go. And then synchronize so that it aligns perfectly together. Remove the headers. Yeah, and then if need be, you can come here and resize this. Yeah, and if you want to have that experience, so there you go. That's for the very fourth one. Now, the fifth one, it's pretty much simple. So basically, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this off. Let's look at it again. It looks like it looks conical on two ends. So pretty much this is a bit more complicated. So what you do here is I'm going to show the header here. Good. So I'm going to a false measure. So how do you get a false measure? Double click on it on the column area, and then it shows you an empty field. Put it 1, enter. Now drag the 0 measure, drop it on the pane, this X pane. You see, when it comes to the pane, can you see? It shows 2 green lines, and that's how you know that you're doing the right thing. You drop it right there. Yeah, looks really good now. So you're going to turn these bars, turn it to a line. Yeah, once you turn that to a line, really good stuff. Now it shows this way. Now drag these measure names, drop it on the path. Yeah, okay. So when you have that, literally, if you increase that around, you're going to see it has this sweet spot. It looks really sweet. Yeah, it looks really sweet, like it has that feel. Now I'm going to take these off from measures from the colors. I don't want the whole color effect. Yeah, so it has one color. Now, what I can do is take off from the label. I'm going to say line ends. So end of line, so that we only have these at the other end. For the sake of this class, I'm going to take this completely off. So you see how it looks. It looks spherical at the end, at the edges, pretty much like what we got here. So you could choose now to say, so profit, I'm going to bring it on the label. I'm going to put it out here. And so I'm going to ask it to, okay, I'm going to make it here. Then I'm going to put enter, say apply. Then I'm going to come to, okay. Now I'm going to ask it to show at the end of line. Yeah. Because of what we did by pressing enter twice, I could press the third enter and apply. Yeah, it takes it up. That pressing enter takes it up. Yeah. What you can as well do in this case is to uncheck the start of line, and then you have the result you wanted. So you could clean it up. Yes. Amazing. Good job. Well done so far. Now let's look at the next one. So we've got up to the 5th. Let's look at the very 6th. Now let's see how the 6th works. With the 6th, we can open a new, or let's still use the same data set, the same chart. I'm gonna take this off. Yeah. Now the beautiful thing here is we're going to call a function, a really nice function. It's called the Windows max function. Now, what the window max function does is it looks for the maximum in these windows. So if you look at this, the maximum in this window is the west. So let's call the west now. So we can do this. First, I will replicate this by holding Control down, because I'm using a Microsoft Windows system. And then or if you're using a Mac, you use Command, hold down Command, and then take that. So you've got 2 layers of the same thing. I can double click on this to open it up. Now, when I double click on it, I'm going to type a new function called window max. Yeah. Now open a bracket. So you're saying the maximum of some window maximum, the maximum in this window of sum of profit. See it very clean? Yeah, enter. Now, if you look, everything will be the same. It's a constant, yeah? Now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to turn this to what? A gray shade. Let's say a gray shade, like a deeper gray, so you can see it a lot more. Awesome. Now, from there, I will now what? Dual axis it. Interesting. Can you see that? Now, and I could now say synchronize the axis. Right click on this and take off show header. Right click on this, take off show header. Again, I could sort this. Yeah, amazing, amazing. So you see, it gives you, it looks like it's a progress bar. So you have it like a progress bar, pretty much like what you have here. Yeah, you can go ahead to drag this and put it here. So you have that experience showing. So you can choose how you label this. Yes. Now, let's say you want to go ahead and have these lines, the progress lines that show milestones. Now, one way you can do that is you come to the lines and then bring in the trend line. So particularly trend lines, you want to bring in trend lines. So I'm going to come here, bring in trend lines. So let me say it here. In this case, so to add the grid to it, you see this grid here? What you just do is you format, right click, format. So go to lines, yeah, grid, but particularly the grid you are interested in is in the column grid. So I'm going to bring that in. Because we're using a white shade, I'm going to use a darker kind of grid. So I'm going to use like a gray shade. Yeah, so you're going to have something like this because I'm using a gray shade now. So that's the grid that demarcates it. You can want to deepen the line again, depending on what you are trying to make out of it. So that's a good way to bring the grid. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. So I'm going to take it off again. Yeah. Now let's see what next we have to achieve. So we've gotten up to the 7th. Yeah. And pretty much the grid thing, you can as well use that again for the progress bar. So bringing in the grid, so same thing here. So take this off, and then bringing in a grid line here. But particularly it's going to be the grid line on the column, not the one on the rows. So there you are. Yeah. So let's look at the last one, the last two. Let's start with the lollipop. The lollipop is a lot easier to do from here. So let's do the lollipop. So kind of a very similar, I'm going to take this off first, format. Yeah, I'll take the grid off for now. So very similar to what we've done before. I'm going to duplicate these. Yeah, and then I'm going to turn the layer here. I'll turn that to a circle. Got it? Yeah, I could take this off for now. Just take off the label. Yeah, make the bar really thin. Yeah, really thin, literally like a line. Yeah, amazing. Now increase this, the circle. That looks good. Now you're coming here, dual axis, right click on it, synchronize. Yeah, you have yourself a really nice lollipop there. So you clean it up, clean this up, and your lollipop is ready. Yeah, your lollipop looks good. Now, an interesting thing, yeah, so your lollipop really looks good. Now, if you want to achieve something, you could interchange the position. So let's see how that works. So I'm going to drag this and drop it this way. Yeah, by interchanging the position, you may have a different experience. So I'm going to first start by making the circle making this quite deeper. So increasing the opacity. So you see, you can't even see the other color anymore. Now, sometimes you may have to swap places. So let's say this line was a gray. So I'm going to have it with a blue. Yeah, you can't see the blue, but let's go with the color a bit deeper, and then you would see some reasons why. And I'm going to increase it a bit. Yeah, you can still see the stroke of the black coming out. So by interchanging this, you make the layer, one of this layer, the layer of the circle to be on top. So you can hardly find the black line. So that makes a very good lollipop. All right. Now let's go and end it with the progress theme. So this one, let's look at that lastly. Now for you to achieve that, you would also need to have the window marks. Again, the window marks experience. So I'm going to turn this to a window marks. Remember how we did it? And we said the window marks function, yeah? The window marks function gives the maximum value of that measure in the window. So enter, and then the maximum value is 110. Yeah, so what we're going to have to do is to turn that to a line. So it's not going to be a lollipop. We're going to turn this to a line, bar chart, and then we're going to make these bars really small, very thin bar. Yeah, amazing, good stuff. Make it really thin, yeah. All right, cool. I could really make it a bit smaller, thinner. Yeah, I could use a color like gray. Yeah. Amazing. That looks really good. Yeah. Now, I'm going to turn this into the profit side to a circle, which is the actual value. So turn it to a circle. Use a color, maybe a color to distinguish it. Yeah. And I can increase the size of that circle a little bit. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, in this case, it's behind the line, so I could interchange the places. And there you go. It comes out looking a lot finer, so I could take this off. There you go. You're going to make bar chart looking really good. Thank you very much. Till we see you again, do like, subscribe, and share.